Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are, of course, around the world. And welcome back to our post-match reaction for the final time, of course, this season. Of course, Liverpool drawing by four goals all in what was just a summary of our shit season. It was an absolute mess, wasn't it? I think if any of you guys are watching the game, again, plenty of talking points, certainly around certain individuals as well. But of course, we'll get all about that. Well, get all into it, I should say, in tonight's show. Anyway, but hopefully everyone's having a fantastic bank holiday weekend as well. Obviously, 1882 Reds podcast is insane. Get in the bin FSG. Um, High come on there as well. Club is an embarrassment. But we'll get on to that. Obviously, Jurgen saying, was it after the game that again he'll be busy in the summer on his phone and so on. But look, obviously we will be speaking more about that anyway. Obviously, and hoping for a lot more in the next couple of weeks as well. But Christian saying that result summed up our season. You couldn't be more correct, but I didn't care today as I went to watch my local team Carlisle get promoted. Yeah, I know, Chris. Obviously, congratulations as well to League One. So I'm happy about that as well. Yeah, was it 5-4 on pens after? Chris, let me know in the comments down below. But there's always a 4-4 or 5-4 type result as well with us. Yeah, absolutely. Too busy with his £2.50 to spend the front. Well, to be fair, you're forgetting the Haribos, but they're all the Freddos, so there's a bit of leg room there. To be fair, but and also amateur hour as well. And Luke's in here as well, saying, "I heard Jurgen Klopp just got off the phone to you. Heard you congratulate Liverpool on the season. Get in the bin, get in the absolute bin, all of you. Anyway, but it has been an absolute. I do really want to swear, but I don't at the same time. It has been a crap season. Don't get me wrong. Plenty of positives in it. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it has been that's a shite this season. Anyway, of course, the only highlight of today was, of course, Bobby Firmino getting, of course, his last goal for Liverpool. It was a good goal as well, to be fair. It was like a proper classic Bobby Firmino finish, and of course, now obviously he will leave. Obviously, there has been some news about Bobby concerning Real Madrid as well from Fabrizio Romano. Of course, we'll speak about that tomorrow as well in a short as well. But of course, I think just looking at it overall, I think you look at the players. And, I'm going to quickly get up the starting 11 on my phone, as I should have done before the stream. But just individuals again today that for me need to either be gone in the summer or next season by the latest. I think the two centre halves today, again, obviously no Virgil or Ali. Both of them were left out of the squad. Again, I don't know. There was a reason, chat. I don't know if you guys know as well in the comments. But of course, they didn't feature today. Again, Joe Gomez, Joel Matip. For me, I'd sell both of them this summer. Both of them poor, and that's just it's just a lack of confidence around those two. Again, Joe Gomez going back 4 years ago was probably, we were all saying it was one of the best young English centre halves that there was, and now he's just lacking so much confidence. And like he's had that one good game against Manchester City, and that's it. And that's been pretty much the same for the last 2 years for Joe Gomez. He has one good game, and then has the rest that's a crap. And it comes to the point where, again, if Virgil van Dijk and if these other Ibu, for example, if they're not available, we need players to be reliable. Certainly for next season, and of course going more into the future. But again, we talk about midfielders, centre halves are going to be needed this summer as well. I think ideally, probably 3 centre mids and 2 centre halves as a minimum. considering the fact, again, we're most likely going to be selling Nat Phillips as well, which realistically I'd much rather keep Nat Phillips than Joe Gomez at this stage anyway. But again, today there was no real standouts in terms of the game. Again, I don't know if you guys saw, because again, it was a 3 o'clock kickoff that, again, of course, wasn't available to watch. But for me, like, again, looking at the entire squad, just a lack of energy. And it was only when you had Harvey Elliott come on and Cody Gakpo come on that there was change. Again, just judging from the starting 11, just looking at it now, again, I can't really say that this person was a standout. While we were, winning 2-0, and then of course end up losing 4-2 for a big period of the game. Again, like for me, like when Harvey Elliott and Cody Gakpo come on, that's when Liverpool changed. But again, that it has just been a representation of our season, because we're too easy to be on the counter attack. That was quite clear to see today. I think certainly from Southampton's third goal, and it's just again just how poor Liverpool are in certain areas where you look at it next season. Will that get fixed? It makes you think of, oh Jesus Christ, it's not going to get fixed, and not going to be, because again, I always think that when we hear now of Fabinho looks like he's going to be staying an extra year, I get really, really worried with that, because again, I think Liverpool need a new number 6. We said it, for the last couple of months, and it doesn't look like Liverpool are getting a new number 6 at the moment anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts as well in the comments. Phil's saying we've got an enormous amount of work to do in the summer to get ready for next year. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, you, Seth, as well, saying you shall not pass. Talio Connor, Liverpool need 1 billion in investment in the team, 95 points wins the league next season. Well, you look at it, what was it, 85 points won the league this year? I know City have ended up finishing on 89, but they were crowned champions when they had 85 points. That's the annoying part about it, is when the one season where we're off of it as well. And that's the thing, when I think if you go on Twitter, there's plenty of people that have already got it up and so on, of the margin compared from last season to this season. The two bottom teams are Chelsea and Liverpool, and that's just an embarrassment, if I'm being perfectly honest. Again, top 4 was there for Liverpool, and we messed up. We absolutely thrown out of the water. Again, Newcastle drew games. United, did United win after? I'm not even sure. I think when I looked, it was drawing 1-1. But even still, top 4 was there for us this season, even though we were crap. And look, realistically, obviously now we know that Mason Mount won't be joining Liverpool. It doesn't look like he's going to come anywhere near Liverpool because of Champions League football. Again, I don't want that type of player coming to Liverpool if that's all he's concerned about is Champions League. But still, it's the fact that Klopp's even mentioned it in the post-match after the game in terms of, again, with Europa League, the difference from the Champions League as well. Again, that's a little bit of a worrying sign. Because again, Jurgen's not only mentioned it in the press conference before the game, he's now mentioned it afterwards as well. So it does make you think a little bit of what's going on. But again, hopefully, and I say hopefully, we can have a very good summer. But again, only time will tell in that aspect anyway. But I've seen better defending over the park than what Gomez shows. Yeah, absolutely. I heard a rumor that Jurgen Klopp phone calls was to Gomez to get back as well. To be fair, I wouldn't mind that, for being perfectly honest. Jordanson saying Alex McAllister will leave Brighton in the next few days. Yeah, that is going to Fabrizio Romano. Of course, he was very emotional after the game. I think Zerbi, said that it's most likely that him and Caicedo will leave in the next couple of weeks. So, again, I think Caicedo is going to go to Manchester City, if I'm being perfectly honest. is there anywhere in Europe that you could potentially go? I don't think so. So again, I think it will be Manchester City that he goes to anyway. Gomez is worth more on the market. I'm not even sure about that. I think they're probably valued around the same um, with Nat Phillips and Joe Gomez. Certainly after the game, because again we speak about Kelleher as well. Kelleher's performance today did not help in terms of Liverpool going, oh yeah, we want about 25-30 million for him. Every single team's going to go, oh yeah, there's 10 million. Okay, we'll take him off your hands. Like it was horrendous. Like the second goal in particular, I think Ali saves it as well. But yeah, again, it just you could tell Liverpool were on the beach. I think for the majority of the game as well. But yeah, the only thing I will have to say though as well for the entire video is thank God this season's done, and now we can just talk about transfers all season long, or talk about anything else that isn't Liverpool absolutely getting battered week in week out. Anyway, but Luke saying the pick out of today was the full-time whistle. Yeah, absolutely. What Wi-Fi password are you playing next season? Very funny. Yusuf, you haven't got any next season. Got a wheel and deal sometimes as well. If I was Klopp, I would have wanted the touchline ban to be extended as well. I should have kicked off again, but no need to talk about the game. Talk about the owners and the mismanagement of the pitch, off the pitch. Sorry. Again, we will do that in due course. Again, there's plenty to discuss about the off-field matters. I know Luke. They're probably screaming right now in the chat, but I just genuinely feel like, yeah. The thing is, are we frustrated right now at the ownership? Yes, 100%. Do we have any trust in the ownership? No, we don't, and I absolutely agree 100%. The only thing I can only say is I'm not judging Liverpool's transfer window or judging Liverpool for next season until we see the results of this summer. And that's the only way you can then look upon the future. Because again, this next 6 months to a year is probably the time now where Liverpool for the next 3 to 4 years will be in terms of regrouping, redeveloping, and fighting back for the top. Because that's the thing. Like you look at today, Villa got Conference League football. Villa will look to strengthen. Of course, they've got very wealthy owners. Newcastle will strengthen. Arsenal will strengthen. Chelsea will be back up there with Pochettino next season. And so they have to at a bare minimum, they have to sign 4 players this summer as a bare minimum. And then even when we talk about then in terms of what we realistically need, we need about 5 or 6 players. Again, if money wasn't a problem, again, we'd be speaking a lot more. But again, look at what's happened with Chelsea in that way as well. But Liverpool Football Club off the field is embarrassing from the top as well, says, I guess it's Ricky. At least Liverpool have Wi-Fi password to play. You need those Wi-Fi passwords to watch on the Thursday night, lads, as well. Klopp should get Nunes perhaps finishing in the summer contract. That's the hopeful dream, isn't it, Gary? As well, good seeing you as well. What else do we have? Let me quickly scroll down. Sat on our own hands and watched targets go elsewhere too many times. Yeah, we did. And again, that's the annoying thing with Jude Bellingham. Again, we were sold a dream with Jude Bellingham. I was definitely. But the fact that we missed out probably on 2-3 midfield targets, we missed out on. I think David Lynch brought an article piece out saying that the new Annie Road stands that cost us 1 or 2 players per window, as well, since it's been in redevelopment, which that again, that's not what you want to be hearing as well, going into a crucial summer. But again, it's just the fact that Liverpool need massive, again, Jordan Henderson spoke about it and said that we don't need, it's not a rebuild. It is a rebuild. Liverpool need a rebuild. And again, I even think next season it isn't going to be, Liverpool are going to go straight back up to the top. I'd like us to, 100%. I'm not saying that. But it's not like Liverpool are going to be going, back to 95, 96 points next season. It's not. Liverpool's best chance next year would be to get comfortable top four, or even challenge if we could, and win the Europa League. I think that's probably a realistic target for Liverpool next season, is go out and win the Europa League. I think Liverpool are probably one of the favourites already. Not knowing who's in it completely, but again, I think Liverpool are one of the favourites for the Europa League, 100%. But Doug saying hello. Connor, Matt's season is over. Yeah, absolutely. Gomez is not worth more than the reduced section as well. What can you get from the reduced section, Luke? Gomez is not worth more than that reduced meal deal. Lad, out of date, awful defender as well. Yeah, I'd agree, 100%. Gomez is just a ham sandwich, as well, says Luke. For the first time in Premier League history, all the top half teams has a positive goal difference, while the bottom half clubs all had negative goal difference. That's actually mad as well. Good little stat that would be. Give it 10 years, that'll be a quiz question, 100%. Considering Jude to be apparently wear a knee brace at 20 years of age, we dodged a bullet there. That's what it says, Phil. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier on to Jack in terms of, again, we might have been lucky with Jude. But yeah, again, we'll never know. Like, look at Fekir, for example. Like, Fekir had a dodgy knee, and we were told that his knee could blow out at any time. I think it was 5 years on, and again he didn't have a knee problem, and then of course it happened for Betis. I think after I think it got completely ruptured, didn't it? I think in the end, but even still, 5 years from when we were going to sign him, Naby Fekir was probably a better signing, or would have been a better signing than probably Naby Keita. Sorry, I'm going to call him Keita then. Naby Keita, to be fair. But to be honest, I had to suffer with Lampard. To be fair, Yusuf, I was just looking at Frank Lampard's stats now. Again, I think he's played 29 games as a manager this season. He's got 20 points in the Premier League. That's embarrassing. That is absolutely, that's worse than Southampton as well. But again, Frank, it just makes me laugh, the fact that Frank Lampard is quote unquote Premier League level manager. It's laughable, isn't it? But positive goal difference usually stopped around 10th or 11th. Doug as well says Bry. Liverpool need 6 midfielders. I think that'll be the hopeful dream as well, for being perfectly honest. Gary, and let me quickly scroll down. Gary saying missing out on top 4 has cost Liverpool millions. FSG have to spend big on it. Yeah, I think I can't remember who posted it, but somebody posted a like a deep dive look into Liverpool next season, and I think Liverpool will be off, I think estimated around 20 million from last season. So it's not as dramatic as what's been to be laid out, but even still, I think looking at it, it's Liverpool should realistically, should obviously gain money back, I think, from the Nike deal and from of course, the new stand as well. So again, there's money to be made there, but again, when you if we just look at Champions League money, for example, like last year, Liverpool got around 120, 130 million pounds. I think if you go on to win the Europa League, I think you get around, it's an 80 million drop off the Champions League. So again, it's not the best in that area, of course. But I hope Ant is alright. Yeah, obviously Leicester did go down as well. I'm glad in some sense, because again, obviously I feel sorry for Ant, because obviously Ant's a good friend, but Leeds deserve to go down 100%. I think even Ant will admit it as well. Leicester Leicester deserve to go down from this poor season as well. But just a shame Everton couldn't join them as well. But Haaland was injury prone last summer, 50 goals later. Yeah, Jesus Christ, absolutely destroyed the league, didn't he? Yeah, mate, he's awful. Yeah, again, should never ever manage in the Premier League. Again, for me, 100%. But guys, I want to know your thoughts as well on just the season in general, of course, because again, it's the last post match for the season anyway. But I want to know your ratings for Liverpool season out of 10. For me personally, it would be a 3 for Liverpool season. Again, shocking all round. Again, I think the only highlight I think you can go back and look at is again beating City at home at Anfield, beating United at home as well. Again, there wasn't many away memories I think from this season in particular. Obviously, Tottenham a couple of weeks ago with Richarlison, I think that's also another one for sure. But for me, I think look, next season Liverpool have to hit the ground running from game one. That's been our problem. I feel for a good couple of seasons, it's been where Liverpool, we always start the season slow. It cost us in the league titles. It cost us, this year, for example. Again, I think you look at Liverpool in the last, I think 20 games compared to the rest, to like the first 18. Liverpool, if we started 20 games in, Liverpool I think would have finished third in the league or somewhere around there. But again, that first 18 games of the season, abysmal. And again, we're kind of fortunate a little bit from the Champions League. Even looking back at the Champions League season, that battering by Napoli. I think all of us thought then that, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a one hell of a poor season. And then, yeah, obviously Madrid happened and the rest happened. But I think next year, obviously, it still depends on the signings, but Liverpool have to hit the ground running, in my opinion, if we're going to have any chance of top four competing. Because again, it's not only the likes of, we got to worry about City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle as well. It's also the likes of Brighton, Villa, Chelsea will be back up there. Like I said, there'll be obviously new promoted teams as well. That's the big one for me next year. We have to get back to beating the lower half teams. We've seen, at Anfield, apart from Leeds, this season, we've beaten nearly everyone else, and that's the annoying part about it. Where I think against the bottom 6 teams, we didn't do ourselves justice at all, and we were very, very poor. And again, there's probably games you probably look back at, even at home, that again on paper probably says that we won, but just the performances, Liverpool haven't looked like there hasn't been a comfortable game for Liverpool. I don't think for a majority of time this season. I think certainly away from home. I think barring that Leeds away game, I think that's the only one I think that comes to mind that Liverpool could be a bit relaxed about. But even still, we need to bring back that fear factor in terms of Liverpool's play, and that's the hopeful dream for next season, of course. But this summer again, it's going to be huge for Liverpool anyway. But Doug saying, and Jeff said goodbye to Sky too. Yeah, I fully expect him to be back next season for another loan spell at Sky. Anyway, but yeah, obviously I know that it is probably his last. Again, I'm not going to say it is because we already know. He has said it 3 or 4 times, and he hasn't left. So again, but I do think, of course, it is his last time as well. The 3 out of 10 says Doug. It's been bloody shambles. 1 out of 10 Connor as well, says Gary. 1 out of 10 as well. Yeah, so again, I agree. I think, look, personally, I'd give it a 3. I think, look, there has been very small glimpses of hope, of course. I think, like I said, I think if you look back at Liverpool's last 20 odd games, I think Liverpool will be third in the league. But again, still not good enough for us. And again, you look at the squads and you look at the people we have to replace. Bobby Firmino, James Milner, obviously Naby and Ox going as well. But then again, you also look at player sales. I think you look at, like I mentioned, the two centre halves. In terms of Joel Matip, Joe Gomez as well, obviously Nat Phillips as well, potentially going, Kostas Tsimikas as well. I know plenty of people are having an ahhing about him, whether or not Liverpool should, try and cash in on Kostas potentially. But then again, you've got to try and replace them all. Again, I think if you look on look for somebody on a free or low budget, I don't think there is anyone on the market at the moment that's worth it. Even from the relegated teams, I don't think there's anyone out there at the moment that Liverpool will, try and go and grab, apart from probably Lavia. But again, judging from him playing today, I don't want Lavia at Liverpool. But and again, I know he's only what 19, 20, somewhere around there. But again, I think there are better players out there for Liverpool to be getting, especially for 50 million quid as well, which is the rumored transfer fee anyway. But again, guys, I am going to leave it there for tonight. Anyway, of course, it was only going to be a short post match anyway for tonight. But again, obviously, just in general, in terms of the season, again, that's all we can hope for and dream, is that Liverpool will somehow be back next season. Of course, busy summer ahead. Of course, we'll be doing plenty of shows from now until the end of the season. Of course, just thinking of the season as itself, of course, it's been a crap one for Liverpool. I know that we hit 1,000 during this season as well, which of course was the aim and the target. So again, thank you very much for that as well. And yeah, just keep your eyes on the channel, because again, we're gonna next week we got obviously a special guest coming on, in terms of speaking about transfers again, and speaking about, and hopefully we'll have some insight as well on what's going to be happening with Liverpool this summer. Potentially, again, we're going to be speaking to that person. Again, I'm not going to say who he is, but again, you can probably make your own assumptions on who it could be for next week. But yeah, hopefully that will be maybe. I'm just waiting for a day, and hopefully I'll find that out tomorrow as well, so I can let you guys know as well. But of course, we'll have that out as well. Again, we'll have plenty of videos coming up through the summer as well. Anyway, but until next time, guys, hopefully have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, and of course have a fantastic bank holiday Monday as well. Of course, we're in the UK as well. I know I think it's Ricky, to be fair. Hashtag FSG out now. Again, give it the summer. But yeah, I know that I want to see Ricky in a full-on FSG out suit by the start of next season if we don't get our signings. That's the promise. And I think we need Ricky to make anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I will see you all later on. Ta-ra.